Hey guys, it's me, and I'm going to attempt to do another video here on my mom's porch. It's called a lanai. I'm hoping this doesn't cut me off. It says I have 14 minutes, so I'm going to really try hard to get this all in. So I'm going to start off the bat, right off the bat. Something God showed me that, gosh, has just really set my heart on fire for what we're studying and for me personally. Something I've been struggling with that I want to share with you because I feel like it will really maybe encourage you too with wherever you're at right now. So Jim and I visit these churches, and we had a guy share a message out of Matthew, which made me want to go back and dig a little deeper into it because of it was about the disciples, and of course, well, here we are studying the disciples. But that morning, I started getting, I came out and got my coffee, and I'm sitting on my little spot with my Bible and my journal, getting dig in, and I struggle really bad with having to have complete silence so that I can focus. And this morning, Jim was up at the same time, which that's happens, and then he'll read his Bible in the living room, and I'll do my thing in the other room. So, but this particular morning's here's Jim's up, but he's not just reading, he's on his phone. Well, that never happens, but he's talking so freaking loud. I was like dying. I'm like, oh, I can't focus. And then my mom's refrigerator is on the blink, and man, oh man, the motor runs constantly. But I had my coffee, and I thought, okay, I'm just gonna try and get through this. Well, then I spilled my coffee, and I'm like really frustrated because I gotta spend the time to clean up the mess, right? So I'm cleaning up the mess, kind of like really just like so frustrated. Get back at it, sit down, okay, I'm gonna try this again, but I can't because the refrigerator and Jim's talking. So now I go in my bedroom, I shut the door, and I'm just writing in my journal really hard. Like, I am so frustrated, Lord. I can't stand that I just can't enter into this. And so I pray, casting out like, like, you know, you're not welcome here, Satan. Jesus is stronger, bigger, whatever. And then I try again, and then Jim comes into the room. He opens the door and walks in the room. I don't know what my face looked like, but he was like, sorry. And he turns around and leaves, basically. So that was how it started off. And, I really got then at that point, like, you know what, Satan, I see you. And it became so obvious he's trying to derail me. So then I just was like, well, the game is on because I'm not giving up. So I really, really just fought through that situation. And man, am I glad I did. So this is what I'm going to share with you. There's just a couple things. I'm looking at my notes so I don't miss anything. I want to make sure I cover what I want to tell you. But in Matthew chapter 14, it talks about the disciples had been with John the Baptist. We already talked about that, and but John the Baptist got beheaded, and his two disciples had to bury his body, which I can't imagine the stress of that. And then when they were done, they went and told Jesus what happened. Jesus goes and gets alone, but when he comes back, there's all this crowd, and then this is in the scriptures where we talk about the feeding of the 5,000, if you've heard that story. And in verse 14 and verse 15, the disciples come to Jesus after this long day of all these crowds of people and said, hey, we're in a remote place. We really ought to send these people back to some villages where they can buy some food. And I'm imagining that the disciples probably said that because they themselves were tired and hungry, and let's get this on. Can we be done here? I don't know, but Jesus, when he says back to them, he says they don't need to go anywhere. You feed them. And I'm thinking, my God, they buried this guy, and a couple of them did anyway, and now they're all stressed. I'm sure stressed. And I'm thinking stressed out because that's who I am. I get very stressed out all the time because I'm trying to do all this work. And the personal part for this, for me, is in my job. Please don't misunderstand what I'm going to tell you. But in my job, I get very stressed out because I don't feel like I can keep up with all the work all the time. And it's just constant. If you've been in our offices, you understand what I'm saying. But so the story, like I said, really touched me about the disciples, imagining them being stressed out. But then, this isn't the part I think is so beautiful. In verse 22, it says that Jesus immediately after that put them in a boat and sent them out to go before him. And I thought, man, how cool is that? That Jesus probably saw that they were stressed out and tired and gets them in the boat, and it says that Jesus dismissed the crowds then. So the speaker we heard that talked about this said, God has a plan. He sees you. He has a plan. So then while they were out there, though, in the boat, there's a storm. So Jesus walks out there on the water, and, they get freaked out because they think they're seeing a ghost, which wouldn't, that's my reaction. But Peter says to him, hey, if that's you, Jesus, tell me to come out and walk on the water. And he did. Jesus says, come. There's that word again. Just come. So Peter gets out there and he's walking, but then he notices the storm. And he sinks. And then it says Jesus immediately reaches out and catches him. And this is the part that really touched me. That he said, you of little faith, why do you doubt? When Jesus fell. And oh my gosh, it just for me, I thought, yeah, Debbie, why do you doubt? The storm that Peter is looking at, God's used this in my life before when I was a single mom and I was struggling so bad to survive. And God showed me then that all I do is look at the problems. I can't pay my bills. I can't keep my electric on. I can't feed my kids. I'm going to be homeless. All of these things is what I would focus on. And Jesus used this story then to show me I need to focus on him. And so here I am today to tell you that my life situation is completely different. Thanks to Jesus. But my storm is the activity that I am involved in every day, all day, and I can't breathe. And so here I am again recognizing that I myself am always looking at the stuff that I have to do to keep up instead of looking to Jesus. So that hit me right between the eyes. And when I realized that, what I wrote in my journal said, I am on a gerbil wheel, always running. Always. And help me, Jesus, to quit it. That's what I wrote. So it blew my mind. So I also wrote that I doubt that it will ever change. How am I ever going to change? I'm tired of looking at my computer screen all the time. I've lost my influence. I'm with my computer more than I am with people. Blah, 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 on and on. And this particular morning, I had a meeting that was going to start at 9:30. And so when I got done with this journaling time, it was 9:20. And so I decided to watch a video I had on that I needed to watch for work. And I thought I could get 10 minutes in. Well, then I had my meeting at 9:30, and that went great. And then when I was done with that, I go to my email. And I'm in my inbox. And here my husband, he emailed me while I was in my meeting, and you're never going to believe the subject line of his email. He forwards me these things that he hears that he thinks will help me. And this particular one was from this guy named Ron Hutchcraft. I highly suggest you follow him because he tells these stories. But the subject line of that particular email that day was a gerbil on a wheel. I was stunned, to say the least, because I just wrote that in my journal. I'm a gerbil on a wheel. That's God. So, what I need to tell you is that God sees you. He knows what we're struggling with. All the time he knows. So that's my number one point, is that he sees you and that he desires us to spend time with him. My number 2 point is that you need to fight. had I given up when my coffee spilled or Jim was on the phone, or I mean, the thoughts in my head were like, oh my gosh, why am I bothering? Why even try? This is the way it goes. No, it's always going to be a struggle. You have to fight for it. And if you don't, the distractions surely are going to win. And if I wouldn't have fought that morning for it, the email from Jim about the gerbil on the wheel, it wouldn't have meant anything to me, really. I would have been like, yeah, I don't know. It's unbelievable. This is a discipline. Running has taught me that as well, that your spiritual health and your physical health are disciplines. And if we don't do them, if we don't exercise that muscle, we're not going to have a healthy life, spiritually or physically. So I just wanted to share all of that just to tell you, please don't quit. This study is hard, I know, and it's frustrating, I know, and the enemy wants you more than anything to quit. Please, please, please fight through whatever challenges you're facing to do it with us, and remember that your victory is in Jesus, and He is in you, and you are going to win, and you will be healthier for it. Ugh, I just hope that resonates with you like it has with me. And I just love you guys so much, and I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night. So I got this done in 11 minutes and 30 seconds. Woohoo! I'm so excited. I hope that if you watched the whole thing, I hope you've been blessed by what God is showing me so that I can share it with you, and then hopefully you can apply it as well. I love you. See you tomorrow.